Well, yes, you're going to face an election this year. So if we could just move on to that briefly before we'll let you go. How are things turning out for you? Because, I mean, several reports about what's happening, right from the deputy governor to your party men, those who have decamped, those who thought you were not going to get the ticket, people who think that, no, you won't get a second term. What's happening? How are you adjusting to all of this?
Well, I can assure you that from what we can see happening here, our project is God's own project. And he at his time, God at his own time, would ensure our victory. And the signs are so clear. You have spoken about Deputy Governor leaving. He is the only one that has left this party. And he left with no other person. The Secretary of State government who resigned has not left the party. He's still a member of APC. And I want to believe that he's working for APC. But when you talk about my co-aspirants and others that we ran together in the primaries, the gubernatorial primaries, it's been a wonderful development. And I'm sure it's not happened in most of the states, but I'm sure this is a new phenomenon. And it has not happened in any state before. And I want to say that when all of us who ran for the gubernatorial position, all of us after the election, one after the other, and now all of us now agree that we work for the candidate of the party and ensure victory. This is something that is noteworthy. So there is no person that ran with us that I said is leaving APC to another party to go and contest or do any other thing. We're about 12 or so. The number might be slightly more than that. I'm not exact. All of us today have come together to say we work for APC. A number of us, many of us are our campaign secretariat, we are bringing it for the use of the party. So when we all of us, as I mean all of us, the Shola case of this world, the Borough face of this world, Shegun Abraham, Ifeyodele, all of us. So what else? So for me, it's for me to say that I know that God's hand is in this project. Two, and thank my co-aspirants using this forum for this unprecedented cooperation. So with this, the signs for me is very clear. We will be victorious. So if I use what in that song we always render, things are turning around for us and turning around for good. And I thank God for this.
Well, some will wonder, Your Excellency, what would cause a rift between a sitting governor such as yourself and his deputy? So, because, I mean, in the build-up to an election year, one, of course, you, as everyone would expect, want everyone on all hands on board, as we say, to ensure victory for your party. So, if you don't mind taking us back to what was the source of the rift between you and your deputy governor?
No, you said something which I marvel at. When you said, one will wonder what will cause. Why should anybody wonder what will cause a rift between a governor and his deputy? It is because most of our intellectuals are not working. If they are working, or those in the university community are not working, you can research into this. This is not new. It's a thing that happens every now and then. I can give it from history. From the days of our Chief Obafemi Awolowo and Akintola, you go to Obasanjo and Atiku. You come back to Ondo State, you come to Ajashi and Omoboriowo. You are in Osun, you come to Baba Akonde and Omishore. Everywhere. You come to Oyo, you come to Bola Ige and Afolabi. Everywhere. It happens. What I believe people should research into is this. Now, this office of a deputy or the office of a vice president, there's some danger in it. It is probably not one of the offices that we encourage what I would call unbridled ambition, because you are breathing and you are seeing somebody as your governor. Only people that has God that has what I would call, that have been guided by so many principles that God has been administered in the holy writs, can have a settled mind to say, yes, as deputy, I want to live by it. Not everybody will be, as I used that word before, it's not everybody that will be Philip Shuaibu in Edo. Not everybody will be Professor Shibaju in Abuja. It's not everybody. So this happens every now and then. There's no need for us to think this is something too serious. It's not serious. People can be ambitious. Ambition a number of times will run people mad. Yes, maybe when the Susia said to you that you will be king, before you know, you will be running up and down and want to kill people. So for me, it doesn't really matter. But I believe that a study of this can be done because it's a product. For me, it looks like a product of our level of education, primitivity. You can only be a primitive person to think that somebody chose you to run with him, and the only your first option is to see that he look for his downfall. Doesn't really matter.
Right.
But I said to you, you can be ambitious.
Well, the build-up to these elections, I'm talking about Edo and Ondo state elections, have taken its toll on your party, the APC. I mean, we've seen what happened in Edo State and how that has caused some issues with the leadership in your party, and also for Ondo State. And a lot of people are wondering, what's the working relationship between you and the national leader of your party, the APC?
Well, the working relationship between national leaders of a party and I, or the national leader of a party and I, is perfect. For me, very perfect. There's nothing for me in Ondo State. We don't have problems. The problem erupted in Edo. The party is trying to manage it. But in Ondo State, we don't have problems. So I want to consider what is in Ondo State. There's no problem. We are not at loggerheads. The leadership of the party have tried their best. They came in and they are still in here trying to reconciliation, which normally happens after primaries. So what we have had is this. We had people on one side who said, no, we do not want him to be governor. And I said to them, they have a right to say no. There's nothing wrong in it. We're having primaries. Primaries will raise dust, as it does everywhere in the world. But after the dust of the primaries, it should settle. And to my surprise, and to the glory of God, the dust that has been raised in Ondo State primaries has settled or is settling. If there are other things, they're just little particles that are still trying to come up. So the dust will finally settle. And all of us have now decided to work together. So I don't think anybody should bring other problems to this place. We have lost just a deputy governor who has gone back to his home. If you came from PDP to try to accommodate you, if you don't believe you have progressive ideas, you go back to where you belong. He's gone back to PDP, but I don't know why he couldn't find a peace. He can't be at peace there. He has gone back. But fair enough. There's nothing wrong. You can see that trend. You are being pushed by your ambition. There's no problem.
You know, I want us to also touch on the issue of security. I mean, videos emerged over the past week of some violence that erupted in Idore and some other parts. And, you know, it's always a challenge, really, having security during polls in Nigeria. And people are looking to Ondo to have it different. So it will set a tone for 2023 elections. And there's a statement credited to a chieftain of the party saying that this election will be won at all costs. I'm just thinking, is that your thinking also?
Thank you for asking this question. The disturbances that occurred during our last election, local government election, is, as I said, why we want to capitalize on few disturbances here and there. This state we have 18 local governments. We are big. So if there was a disturbance in Idori and one other place, does that mean that the election is fraught or was fraught with disturbances? No. As you said rightly, hardly do you find elections you don't have such in pockets of disturbance. But I thank the police that they were able to handle it, because at this time around, we chose not to involve Amotekun and Co. so that people will not say, oh, we have said so they will use it for police, for political purposes. We will still concentrate on using the normal security, the police and the military. And I want to thank them. They rose up to the occasion where you had these problems. They were all quelled at the end of the day. So for us, the fact that it happened is not an issue, because you expect it. That's why you had the police. That's why they were able to patrolling. That's why we knew that some people will raise this sort of problems. So that solves that. When you come to the point you made about one of our chieftains, that he made a statement. I know him very well, and I know that he's a man of peace. Just like I can boast of it, I'm a man of peace. But the issue is this: a number of things we do, we spin out of control, and I have said so a couple of times. I try to tell my people when I'm on the rostrum or I'm addressing them, and a few things I say, it can be out of indiscretion, but the important thing really is that you know the person I am. But when you are rostrum or you are addressing in manners of this nature, that's what I have always called political gunshot. It's like, if you will permit me, we call it Ibon Shelu. He cannot kill anybody. I just said all this thing for the fun of it. I don't believe he meant that. Oh, I believe that he will win the election. It's a do or die affair. He used the word I'm militant. If he's a militant, will he have his law office? He has been living in Akure since he has not gone back to that place and carry gun. The man has no gun. He has, all these things are just what you say. Ibon Shelu, these are political gunshot. It doesn't mean anything to me. That's because I know him, and I know that there is no way he believes in Togri. He believes that everything will be, all this will be done. It was just for me. Maybe because he allowed them to film him, it's out of indiscretion, but no doubt. And he has come to apologize, and I think we should put that behind us. We are not here to use Togri to win this election. We will win this election by the grace of God. We are more than conquerors. So no problem.
Let me just add this as we wind down, Your Excellency, and good to know political gunshots don't kill. Well, about 4 months ago, you inaugurated a 9-member committee on COVID-19, palliative committee, to deliberate and make recommendations on how to cushion the harsh effects of COVID. You talked about paucity of funds. How are you approaching that now with the complaints across the country about the economy and what people feel for COVID-19?
No doubt. We are faced with this downturn in the economy has affected us greatly. And even our committee, the committee of 9, they have tried their best. And I think among all the states, they probably rank very high as one of those who raise the highest number, the amount of fund. They rank very high. But even what they got is not enough. Today, we are waiting for the World Bank to assist. We are waiting for the federal government to assist. They are sending money. The money is there to come. I think it's about $1 billion each to assist in not the economic issue of it, but to assist in treatment, in management of the COVID-19 pandemic. But the issue you raise is that, look, we never prepared for COVID-19 pandemic. But as state today, we have met and said that, look, the time now is now to prepare for this downturn in economy. And that the economic pandemic itself is going to be greater than the COVID-19 pandemic. All over the world, everybody can feel it. And in our state, we said, look, the only thing now is that let us have the Ondo State Entrepreneurial Agency. And that is what we want to do now, to see that we build up in preparation for this economic downturn and build entrepreneurs who will on their own also be employer of labor, because a number of people are out of labor. They're not in the labor market. So we know the impact of it. But this agency, when they go out, and we had to employ somebody as a special advisor who has been in this field for long in Africa and co, to work with
Your
us.
Excellency.
So because we know that the effect of it.
All right, Your Excellency, Rotimi Akeredolu, SAN, Governor of Ondo State. Thank you for talking to us today, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.